It's 3 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. If you have any cell phones on, Jack, please turn them off.
Your mic, please.
Sorry. Okay. If you have your cell phone, please mute it, Jack. Becky, will you read roll call?
I sure will. Tom Wilson,
Here.
Dean Fruit,
Here.
Jack Scrogstead,
It's muted. Here.
Mike Pearson,
Here.
Ryan Rod.
Here.
Okay, so we have no public attendees today, which is good. Anybody on Zoom? Jeremy? No, nobody on Zoom. Approval of minutes. If there are no changes or corrections to the minutes from the February 11th Facilities and Maintenance Committee meeting, they will stand as presented. Anybody have any? None? Okay, so they will stand as written. Maintenance Department. Eric will be here shortly to walk us through his report. We'll skip down to work orders. Requests submitted for discussion, none. Request for final budget numbers, none. Request ready for approval, none. So we do have some things coming down the pike that we'll have coming to committee sooner than later. Eric's been getting a really good foothold on a lot of low-lying fruit. And they're doing a really good job of doing that. There hasn't been a lot of work orders. We are doing the actual fourth floor of the new courts building. And I believe that started, was that today? Postponed till?
Oh, I can't remember the exact date, but the materials is delayed.
Okay.
But it's still going to be in
Yeah.
March. I think it's in a couple weeks.
Okay, well, regardless, he's getting that project started. And that's something that we really, as a committee, didn't have much to say about because that was done through Judge Ackert and the fourth floor courtroom remodels. So we're gonna be working on that. What else is there? The wall work, Willett Hoffman I'm working with Willett Hoffman, Jeff Smith on the drawings for the landscaping walls out front. We have no idea what we're going to presently, how far we're going to go with the whole thing. But we are going to design the whole project and then we'll bid it out and see where we're at and have to take that to the full board and to the finance committee. That process is going to take about a month. And then we'll get it out to bid. And I got to remind everybody, it is still March and May would be about the starting point. So we're still in pretty good shape there. We're just waiting for Will and Hoffman to get back to us on a few things. Eric or Jeremy, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a couple of things that Eric's done. I mean, we've got we do have a human resource person starting March 31. And the guys already did next to Jeremy, there's a room, they put 2 walls in that looks really good. It's pretty much ready to go. So when she gets here, it'll be all ready to go for her. So anyway, how you doing, Eric? Good. Glad to see you.
Is that room temporary or will that be where she's at? all the
No,
time?
so that room was built temporarily. I mean, it's sturdy, everything's great. So by chance, if she's in there for a while, we're okay. But we did not build that as a permanent structure. So the idea is we built that temporarily, very low cost in-house. So then we can look at what we need to do to remodel this east end of the 3rd floor here. There's a lot of plumbing that has to be redone. And that's going to be, a project that we're looking into here in the next couple months for the future. But we'll start design and working through that. But I didn't want to displace anybody. We walked around the building for months trying to figure out where we wanted people to go potentially. And we had the opportunity to just build this out, which was the original plan that we had talked about early on with Tom and myself and Eric. And we just decided that this was the best case. So again, if you haven't been in there yet, just take a look. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Without knowing much about building and stuff like that, looking at it, you're saying this was done in-house?
Yes.
What an amazing look it looks. It's just like it fits in with the whole decor and everything like that. So
Exactly.
kudos to your guys doing that. So it looks good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic and they knocked it out in probably a total time of what, Eric, maybe 6 total
I think
days?
700 man hours.
No.
No, it got done very good. And the other thing is, Jeremy and Eric and I have been going back and forth, and we're trying to get Eric to take a deep breath and we need to get schedules, and we need to start scheduling things and need to start putting things together. And we've been running around he's been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Our department has been doing great things, but at a really fast pace and a very hectic pace. We need to get everybody that's why we want these work orders and we want stuff to start going on. We did put a time frame of November 1st to have this remodel done at this end of the building. So one of the exercises we're going to do is Jeremy and Eric and I and whoever, they want to go through and make sure they're getting what they want. We can plan it, schedule it, implement it, and get it done. No different than we did the treasurer's department. And then that way we're not trying to get things done so fast because this 4th floor carpeting in this little room was a big deal, but the room turned out great. And now it's onto the 4th floor courtroom. So, but Eric, we're to your report if you'd like to.
Yeah, where are we at?
Go ahead and just give it all. I was just kind of.
So start off the top? or-
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. So, yeah, LEC, the bypass alarms for the alarm system, and bypassing the RTUs was put in and finished. So that'll be a good thing for us over there. Exterior LEDs were replaced. It seems like we're having multiple light fixtures just fail. They're at the time of their life expectancy. We have numerous lights that need to be installed in the cell blocks. If I remember right, I think there was 16 or 18. We'll kind of get deep into that a little at the end. Let me finish this, and we'll go over lighting. There's been toilets clogging. It's just basic maintenance stuff. Fire extinguishers. We are actually meeting Hartwig, one of their service guys that's a water specialist, next week to look into the softener usage. Seems like the softener just doesn't take or use any salt. Yeah, I don't. That's I don't know. out at the jail? Yeah. So we're still investigating that. Boilers and the water heaters were 100% serviced. In fact, all the buildings are getting their PMs from Hartwig this week and next week. Just to kind of go on your toilets, it's clogged. When we had those installed, I requested a pin be put in the clean out area
Okay.
after that. Are they catching anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that what's being clogged? Is that?
Yes, that exact spot.
Okay.
Way to go, Jack.
What's that?
No, it's working great.
So,
Yeah.
so it's not really clogged. It's
Well,
being
it's-
stopped and then
exactly,
the
yeah.
water's not. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know why a CO couldn't notice that the water, because it's supposed to shut off the water. If it starts to rise up, like it's being clogged, and then all you gotta do is screw off that cap and
Right.
pull the
Get in
the
there.
rags out of there, or the commissary wrappers that they seem to throw down there. But that was the idea.
There was damage in cell block A. One of the inmates, I don't know what they did, if they stuffed rags or whatever, on one of the wall sensors for the temp, and ruined it.
No.
So we had, I think, 14 man hours in that, just replacing that one. So yeah, there's been quite a bit of things going there. We're doing a tool inventory. It's been on the list. We just, like Tom said, we're trying to pump the brakes a little bit and get a little more organized. New courts, we have
The fourth floor lighting, 100% complete. So everything is now switched to LEDs.
Are we gonna be able to monitor somehow through, and if we aren't, we need to start doing it is through ComEd, find out what we're saving and what our bills have been in the past and what the bills are gonna be in the future and just so we can have that information. Is there any
Yep.
software anything that we can use for that?
I don't know about software, but I mean, I can do basic math
No, I get it.
and keep a tally.
It doesn't help much. Electricity rates go up per kilowatt hour and then,
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, there's still, I mean, there's formulas that you can put in there that will spit out savings and all that other stuff. Because everything we've been doing with all the new HVAC stuff, it's all energy efficient. I mean, should be big savings on our electrical side. I'd love
I
to
hope
see.
so.
Yeah,
I mean, we're roughly, I think, $12,000 to $13,000 a month in electrical bills just at New Courts.
Wow.
So it'd be nice to see that under 10 at
Yeah.
least. Third, second, and first floor lighting, I'd like to swap fluorescent bulbs to LEDs, and this would just be a bulb-only replacement. Be a bypass ballast situation. So we do have this money set aside in capital, I believe, for this. So in between New Courts and Old Courts, I think we're below, like much below what we were anticipating.
yeah.
So I was just hoping to get an A-OK for that.
Absolutely.
Now there's still roughly 1,200 bulbs to replace just at New Courts. Old Courts, just this room, we would be replacing fixtures. Is it one of those things where, do we throw in a third party in there just to help speed up the process, or do we purchase everything as far as materials and just keep it stacked and use this as a,
I would challenge you on, at least like on this room, where it might be, may want to take a look at something to see what we got going on up above here. And if we're gonna change the fixtures themselves, maybe we go, do a once over up above that ceiling and see what's going on.
this room is gonna be a different story.
Yeah.
But if it was up to me, I'd replace all the ceiling tile and,
Yeah,
you
but if it was up to me, I would take all the ceiling tile and the grid out too.
yeah.
But there's some ugly plaster up there, I'm sure that's why the
Mhm.
ceiling went in there. I'd love to get rid of it and put plaster, I mean, but it is what it is. At $6 a foot, it's quite a bit of money to replace the ceiling.
So yeah, those are part of the things that are going on there. We do have fourth floor flooring that's starting on the 24th, actually. We had a back order of materials. So I think we're starting in the courtrooms now. Judge Lee's on the 24th for a few days, and we'll bounce back to probation. And we are doing carpet now in the main hallways, not vinyl.
That's very good. That's gonna save an echo chamber and a cleaning nightmare.
Yep. So along with everything going on with the flooring, we're gonna be pulling out, some areas of ceiling tiles in the courtrooms and installing insulation across all the ceilings to try to help deaden the noise, sound transfer, all that stuff. We have a couple handicap ballards that actually are not finished. They will be tomorrow, though. We had electrical PMs done by Helm, I think 2 months ago, and I finally got a report back, and there was two critical issues in some of the I'm getting lost for words here. In some of the equipment, there was a bus that it looked like it was on fire maybe at some point in time and was kind of packed, replaced. There's also a three-phase breaker that is reading extremely hot. So nothing that needs to be done exactly right now, but if we don't fix it soon, there will be an issue.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to set that up for the next holiday.
Is it a main disconnect or what is it?
It's not a main disconnect, or a breaker, but it is in one of the transfer switches, is what I was gonna say.
Okay, so if it's in a transfer switch, do we have anything that's causing that to heat up? Is there too much draw on it, or do we add or subtract something? I mean, is there, other than just that, I mean, they go bad, but,
They did scans or
oh, they did.
temperature
Okay,
readings
good.
with all the equipment in there. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's reading fine.
Okay, good.
But I wish I had pictures for you to see, but nothing crazy important, but
Sure.
well, the way they put it, critical versus not. We also did some HVAC training on all the equipment, all the new stuff. Hartwood came down and spent about 4 hours with all of us, going through basically owner operation and how to maintain all the new stuff.
Does any of that have to do with the automation on the phones and stuff like that?
No, it was more hands-on
Hands-on
mechanical.
stuff.
Yeah, what you
Are
need
we
to do.
going through the training to be able to control the stuff on the
That'll
computers?
be soon.
Okay,
Yep.
just asking.
Yep. You know, all the guys are lightly starting to still get acclimated with everything that's
Good.
going on, including myself. So as soon as things settle down a little
No,
bit,
yep,
then we're gonna start honing in on the computer
Good.
end of it.
good.
So Old Courts, we got the HR room pretty much done. We'll be done tomorrow morning. Procom is finished with the card reader on the south main door. I believe Chief Bailiff Bodmer was just handing out cards, so if anybody listening doesn't have a card that needs to have one, make sure you get a hold of myself or Chief Bailiff.
I'm getting a hold of you right now.
You probably need one, don't you?
Yeah, you would think,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Were you on the list?
I've been on the list for 4 years and never got one. I never got a access card or a key.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. I've never had one. I wish.
So the doors will be.
You're not
locked.
allowed.
No, please.
Who will have access to those doors? Do we have a?
We have a
hierarchy?
list. I
have a list?
don't have the list in my head, but
Checking it.
And then
twice.
every
yeah.
time you check in, it's got to say that Jack
Yeah,
Scraggs,
yeah.
they came in at what time and all
Yep.
that stuff.
Well, personally, I have a card. But, you know, they'd have to, if they were gonna grant me, which I don't need to have access in here, but all they gotta do is add that door to my
Yep.
profile. So. Didn't know there was. Sure. Yeah. I think it's an awesome idea. You know, that way you don't have to go around collecting keys and rekey everything. You just take their name out of it and they're done.
right. It'll be open at 8:00 AM. No?
Yeah, you can control it.
Okay.
Five,
Till
right?
4:30?
4:30.
I mean, the actual hours.
It's nice to have a key when people don't open the door when you're trying to get in for a meeting and get up early. You know what I mean? You ever seen that situation before?
Yeah, it will be engaged 5 days a week. On holidays, there is a schedule set for those. Any snow day or unexpected closing, we will have to get in elections and unplug a port out of the panel physically to keep the doors locked. If you man somebody at the one computer that is controlling this, then we can do that.
To do what now?
To, on a random snow day or
Uh-huh.
whatever closure, if the bailiff is not in on that day, there's nobody else to control
Oh, I
that
see.
lock.
Yeah. Because the key carry, because that's the same thing we do out at Rainer is you can control who has keys, what doors they access, what time they access, and, you know, you can do that. But you have to have somebody other than the bailiff have that
Right.
computer program.
Well, that's a kind of a security.
So that's a Clay question.
Clay, I mean,
Even if they don't, they should have somebody out at the jail that can answer the phone that could get in there on that specific day if that guy's not available to do so.
Right.
And that's how, if it's a Clay question, how he would handle it.
I'll get with Clay.
Well, no, it is a Clay. I mean, I'm just saying, he's got the, what do they call it, Jeremy? Nope, there's a name for it.
AHJ.
Safety and security of, he's got the custody of all the buildings, so it's on him.
Gotcha.
Maybe he'll give it to you, Eric. Just don't know.
One more thing, I'll take it. There was a pretty good funk coming from that closet for however long. It could have been 20, 30 years for all I know. I don't know if there was a bathroom or a kitchen or whatever they had in there, but there was some exposed drain lines that were not capped. So that is our mystery mouse.
Yeah.
We got that finished. The ongoing static pressure, I think, is getting close to be completed. There's 2 Rainbirds that they're going to install on the RTUs. And that is basically the last component that they can think of. And if that doesn't do it, I don't know what's going to. It is not like 100% out of line, but we tried our best.
Good.
We have generator issues that I'm still waiting to hear back from. There was a starter that blew. I think it was gearing. It was replaced. It did the same thing, so I'm hoping that it comes back as a warranty issue.
How long has that generator been out there? 3 years?
Couldn't tell you the date, but
We need to
fairly
find
new.
out, because when they do that, anything within a year, anything breaks, they fix a new starter, then it's a new year from that date for that starter. So, I mean, I'm wondering why that's going out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think it's been 3. Becky, would you remember that? Yeah. Yeah, but that's something to look into for sure.
Altiford has the maintenance on that, and their tech is not going to go any further until the factory
Okay,
service
good.
comes out.
good deal.
So Panic alarms for this building is one thing. Another thing on the list that we were going to try to replace. I think we have 5 different systems. I could be wrong. One for each department. Each department pays a telephone bill. Their time for replacement. We have a price from electronics to replace everything, and it would be under one umbrella.
And 5 less phone lines, right?
And 5 less phone lines.
Yep. And what was the price?
10.
It's on the, it's on the
Right about
onboard,
onboard.
yep.
Yep.
But under 10 grand?
It was right around 10.
So we, is this something that we want to, do we have to vote on that to take this to finance, or just a discussion, or can I take this
I
to
would-
finance on Thursday?
I would like it to go through, I mean, at some point, so however you guys want to take care of that.
What do you got, Becky?
So when I talked to you last week,
Yep.
we had discussed it and then I went downstairs and he caught me again and he said that they would come in for a final tally and do
Okay.
the whole building and find out which of the panic buttons needed to be replaced. And
Okay.
they're $130 a piece, I think he said. So before we have an exact total, and this was in the afternoon when we talked, he caught me downstairs again and said that him and someone else would come in and look over the whole building and give you a final price.
Because I mean, for $130, if we're gonna do it, and there's 5 buttons we gotta put in, I just put 5 new buttons, and I wouldn't wanna have an old one in there and then next year it fails. It just, if
Right.
we're gonna do it, just put all new equipment in and be done with it.
Yeah.
And we are eliminating 5 phone lines, so there's a savings over a certain amount of period of time, so,
Mhm.
but yeah, we'll
I
take
thought
it.
it was a decent price for all the wire that we
Sure.
still need to pull. I believe they're still using the existing panels as junction boxes. For
Good.
10,
If it's something we need, I mean, if we eliminate expenditure and get something that's gonna be safe, and
yep.
do we need to vote on that, or just?
I don't think the
It-
price is solid yet.
Real quick, one of the things that was discussed, just the other day as Pat was over here. Eric, is that the system that we're looking at right now does not talk to the system across the street, is that correct?
The new system
The new system?
will not talk to, is that what you're asking?
Yes. So Pat was concerned that his thought was is if we were going to upgrade the system here, and he's here, so he could probably talk about it a little bit. If we were going to upgrade the system here, he would prefer that to, and I think we all would, talk to his system across the street. And there is some potential monies in the grant from new courts that might be able to go towards that. So we might want to postpone that a little bit. Pat, do you want to talk about that? We're talking about the alarm system.
Yeah, so she put in the new courts grant, basically to upgrade over there. So that would take care of here too.
Right. So we might want to postpone this, and we just found out about it, so it's fluid until we understand if we're going to get this grant. And if we do not, then we talk about moving forward. But until then, I think we need to just stick with
So
what we
does the
got.
panic,
So-
the panic buttons over there, do they call 911 as well, or just
No.
Lee County,
They go straight over radios.
over your radios?
Yep, it's quick,
Okay.
quick and easy.
But it does not go to 911?
Well, they hear it.
Okay.
It's on our
911, yeah,
radios,
Okay,
so they hear it,
Okay.
but it's coming straight to us.
okay, good.
So it's just a matter of, we just need a booster for over here, which that's gonna be included in the actual package they gave us.
Okay.
I just had to add, I think it was like 10 more buttons, which will take care of everything here, so.
Very good.
So you'll no longer have it won't be the burglar alarm stuff.
Right.
And we'll be
It'll
able to
just be
eliminate the
panic
5,
alarm.
and we'll be able to eliminate the 5 phone lines over here as well.
Right.
Mhm.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so we should find out soon, I think.
Perfect.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Pat.
much.
So my question is, do we find out? Do we have them come in and price it out? And then if we don't get included, then we
Yes,
do have
I
a
would.
solid price?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, because you kind of want the same systems to talk. So
Right.
the alarm goes off here, where does it go? And if
Yeah.
it, you know, if it hits their radios, that's the idea. And they're the first responders.
Well, right, I mean, also, I mean, 911, I mean, panic.
Yeah, they're,
But
yeah,
911, city comes too.
yeah,
I mean,
they can say, hey, can you have city head on their way over as well?
absolutely. Yep, no, that's great.
I know elections works. I tripped it this morning and didn't put the code in until it was like 2 minutes. And there was 4 cops here.
Okay.
About that one.
Way to go, Eric.
So that's what happens when you don't have the
Testing the
code.
system.
All right, so animal control, we went over there through some bulletin boards, a TV mount and a TV. Removed a bunch of chairs, tables, and whatever furniture they had to dispose, and did basic filter replacing on their HVAC. Food pantry. We got a few calls that their freezers were just not working. They're off. They thought that we tripped a breaker. There was a few breakers tripped, or one in particular. We had Helm go out there and investigate. They swapped breakers, and it worked for a few more days. Had a call Friday evening that it did the same thing. Helm just got there this morning to do more investigating. We're trying to do this as cheap as possible. We were thinking we were gonna have to run new circuits because we are just overloading the one circuit that, you know, multiple equipment's on. And they found that there was a blown receptacle. So that receptacle is just overheating and almost started a fire.
So what is the age of their equipment down there that we're putting our electrical to? How old is the
The two
compressors? and-
freezers are only a year or
Are
so
they?
old.
They're pretty efficient.
Yeah, they're not drawing a ton of amps.
Okay.
But I don't know how much load is on that circuit. We just haven't spent a ton of time out there. But it needs a lot of work. So we skated by, it's kind of a quick fix for now,
Mhm.
but is it gonna happen again? I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
There's a exterior light pole on the north, I think, east side of the building. And it's leaning over enough where it's kind of raising some questions where I think we either reset it or take it down. So that's another thing on the docket over there. There's quite a bit of daylight showing through the roof. I don't know where
Wow.
to really start, so.
That building, yeah. I'd like to say we're working on it. We've had the best of intentions to do something with the food pantry, but we are trying to find something different.
Right.
So whatever you can do to make it run and do what it's got to do, that's great. And be safe.
So one more thing, the custodian side of maintenance is a little overloaded. With the new carpet going upstairs at new courts, we haven't really, as far as I know, in the past 20 years, had a cleaning schedule as far as any extracting or deep cleaning or any of that. It was just spot cleaned or vacuumed. The girls are running as fast as they can. They're vacuuming every single day. Trying to help out as much as I can. Our equipment is, the newest we have is, I think, 6 years old. The oldest we have is 25 years old. I did not schedule or look at some of the equipment on the custodian side and put that into our budget. So that being said, we currently have a sweeper that does not vacuum, it just sweeps. So it's just kind of creating more of a dust mess than it does. It's just not.
Just pushes the.
Yeah, it doesn't vacuum. Our scrubber over there is a disc scrubber. It's made for more of like a smooth surface. It's like a flat concrete surface, which we have tile. We were thinking we were gonna have a LVP or LVT. You know, it's undersized. It holds, I think, 5 gallons if I remember right. So it's not a very productive piece of equipment. So what I'm asking for is to either purchase some new equipment or lease it. I did get some lease options. They are a little bit more expensive. But you know, that's your guys' call. And then with the carpet now that we're putting up there, either we need to sub it out to a third party to do a deep clean every quarter, or we purchase a piece of equipment and do it in-house. I have numbers if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah, so so now that we're doing, you know, we've had, I can't remember the money we've had in there, but we got $75,000 a year for carpeting replacement. And we wanted to use that for 5 years and pretty much replace everything that we had in the areas that we need to replace. Then it comes up is, how do we maintain it? Because they've got rug doctors and we're just not gonna do what a professional cleaning service can do. And the equipment we would buy is not professional grade cleaning equipment, and nor are we, I mean, what Supreme Cleaners or Quality Cleaners or whoever would come in, that expense would be something that we would put in every year. We'd have a dollar amount. And I think at one time, I don't know, Jeremy, if you were involved in that, but we were talking like $10,000 a year to have Mazzo come in or Quality Cleaning or whomever from Dixon and have a cleaning schedule of things that they would clean for up to $10,000 a year. And it'd be a budget number. Because it's impossible to say, you know, when the carpeting is going to look like, you know, it needs to be done or whatever. But the equipment, we definitely need the equipment, but we're going to get more of the vacuuming equipment. We're not going to get scrubbing equipment for carpeting, correct?
It wouldn't be a scrubber, it'd be an extractor, just specifically for carpet, just for the deep clean. But the big sweeper vacuum is basically down as we know it.
And
So
how old is that?
That one. That one's 19 years old.
Parts break.
And it wasn't even a vacuum. So
I know, but the thing that for me, I mean, just being in business, how we can have a 19-year-old vacuum cleaner and not every 10 years buy and sell, or, you know, still have something that's worth something, but we just running it till it's dead is just, we've got to get into the 21st century, and we're gonna have to bite the bullet and buy one of these things. So,
if we need the vacuum and sweeper, period. Like we have to purchase that soon. There's over 40,000 square foot of carpet in there. So if you think about it that way, I mean, a little upright is not
No.
efficient at all. just the vacuum is $4,500. We can lease it for 36 months at $150 a month. And then you, after the 36, you get a $1 buyback. So they don't really swap out equipment like I thought they would. The scrubber,
Paul just said to buy it, so he'll write the check for it.
you give EA. The scrubber.
But we're gonna be,
is-
but this is my deal. We're gonna buy equipment. And we're not gonna wait till it dies again. We need to buy one and in 3
It
years.
needs to
we
be
need
on a
look-
rotation.
It needs to be in a rotation because that
Right.
is absolutely insane to just keep expecting a piece of equipment to do the same job because it's just
Yeah.
not. So,
Well, it's just making our lives easier and faster and cleaner.
how many
So-
people do we have that run the sweepers?
Anybody can run the sweeper, but it's basically dedicated to the two girls that maintain that building. It's 77,000 square foot.
So they're taking that sweeper from one floor to another to another.
Correct.
So why wouldn't we have two sweepers? Why wouldn't we put
So
one on the fourth
the-
floor with our new carpeting where we can maintain our new carpeting and that stays on that floor? And the girls never touch that vacuum up there and then they use it, the other ones for 3, 2, and 1 until we replace that flooring.
I'm okay with, let's buy 5 sweepers. It doesn't.
I'm just saying, if
you
we
know,
have people to use them and we can, and when the girls go into a room, each floor, they should be able to go up the floor, grab a cart and go do the same thing they did on 3. They shouldn't have to be dragging carts through the building
Mhm.
daily, but if the vacuum upstairs is upstairs and the girls don't have time to do it, somebody else can grab a vacuum and vacuum the,
We need the same thing at this building too. So
is it just as bad here?
yeah.
The vacuums are?
But luckily our carpet needs.
Yeah, if you vacuum it
Replaced
too good, you're gonna
soon.
vacuum the carpeting up. This carpeting here needs to be replaced.
Right.
It's bad.
So we're at 4,500 with a new vacuum sweeper and 10,600, more like 10,700 for the scrubber.
How often do we use the scrubber?
It's almost daily. The scrubber,
You got pictures of all this stuff?
I can get pictures.
Get pictures.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna be sit on, right?
So no, it's all walk behind.
Okay. You put it in there?
It's under the resource.
I haven't looked.
The
When did you put that in there? You got last night? Yesterday?
The scrubber at New Courts is a 2020, I believe. But it is basically an entry-level commercial series scrubber. So what I was planning on doing if we did purchase this scrubber was take the 20 whatever year old scrubber that's at Old Courts, pitch that, and bring the scrubber that's at New Courts over here and just try to keep that rotation. So we're not really wasting any equipment except for a garbage sweeper that we can still maybe use in the parking lots. It's about the best thing I can.
Shuffle the debris.
Yeah. That was one thought. It was a autonomous vacuum. And that was right around 14,000. Yeah, the problem is that there's too many doors that are closed. And it could do the halls. It sets up its own map. You can program it whenever you want to. You can program a start and finish spot. It's still 14,000. And the question was raised that, do we want an autonomous anything in any building? If it was at night, I'd think it would be okay. And that's something we can certainly schedule. But you know, does 13,000 make sense for a vacuum that will do,
Not to me.
you know, 5,000 square foot of hallway?
What kind, I mean, another thing is it's new, I appreciate the technology. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, and yeah, I got a Roomba at home that, and it does the whole thing and bumps into things and does
Mhm.
whatever, but what's the longevity?
Of the time, it's like,
It's
Well,
thinking,
It's brand new equipment. It just was put
no,
out.
that's what I'm
So
saying. I think we should wait 5 years and
I
make
would-
sure, you know,
I would agree.
make sure
And
that the vacuum cleanings is just as good and.
we had a demo of it and it is very slow for what it does. I'm sure it will speed up after it learns where it's going.
I mean, I guess I guess one thing I want to ask too, sounds really, but do we need another custodian person?
Yes, we do.
Then,
Yep.
then that to me is more,
You know, we need new equipment and more manpower.
if we need more, if you've been here long enough to know if you're not satisfied with what they're, how much they can get done in a day, and like you said, it's 70,000 square feet. If we need it, we've had 3 in the past, but that was 4 years ago?
Where? At New Courts?
No, for
Or-
our.
We
for-
have 3 in general, but
No, we had 3 for this building and the other building, then we went down to 3 for the, well, however it went down.
yeah, we have 3 custodians. Now, 2 of them do 77,000 square foot.
Yeah.
One of them does this building, Old Courts, 911, Health Department, first floor on Tuesdays and Fridays for 2 hours, LEC and animal control 2 days a week. So
Now,
he's,
animal control 2 days a week. I thought in the past, when Becky, when the old administrator is here, that we were gonna do something about yeah. I thought we were gonna eliminate the animal controls and they were gonna do it and we were gonna compensate them accordingly. You remember that?
I remember something to that effect, because lots, we entered into an
Yes,
agreement with
and
lots.
we said that in the animal facility, we wanted to get all of our people out of there where Terry could handle it with another gal and do their own sweeping of the floor and emptying their waste baskets and compensate them X amount of dollars in a month. Was that ever brought up?
No, but it is a county facility and county operation. I don't, we do the same thing for the LEC. I don't know, always picking and choosing who we go into, I mean, lots was different because it was, you're, yes, a county, but not really. And they, so, same with like 911, that's a little bit different. They do compensate us for services. But animal control is a county operation, like through and through. It's not like they're a standalone or a sub-entity from that's operated by the board. So I think I would have that would be an operational discussion we'd have to have, but I would probably.
How many hours a
I'd be
week?
against saying, hey, we're gonna charge them and or have them charge back for us to go out there. Because we don't do that for any other office within the county.
Right. I had this conversation in very deep, I understand where you're thinking. I'd love to have the conversation with you sometime on a sidebar. But what I'm saying is, how many hours a week do you spend there?
I think
My
he's
point
around
is this.
6 to 8. somewhere
6 to 8
around there.
hours.
Yeah.
So then the way I look at it is this, if we're just emptying garbage cans and we're sweeping up the floors, don't we compensate them people, the 2 people that are making them, I mean, they're the one, I mean, they could sweep and do whatever. I'm just saying that with 6 or 8 hours a week, help get the courthouse cleaned better here without hiring another person. I'm just saying, I'm just looking at
Yeah.
just,
Options,
what's that?
options.
Just options. But if we need another person and you're not, and you think we need another person, then we need to consider hiring another person.
I think we need to consider at least
Talk to-
hiring
Talk to we gotta talk to the executive committee and find out what we can do.
and that just depends on overall on what the maintenance crew is doing. Right now we're go on a lot of different projects and I don't see it really slowing down a whole lot in the next near 5 to 10 to 20 years, really. How well do you want the maintenance to be? You
We
know,
don't want it to falter like it was for 25 years. How's
Right.
that?
So,
Because it's just, we need to get the buildings up to snuff. We need to maintain them the way, we need to get them up where we want them, but they're still not there.
right,
I mean, just, there's a lot of stuff we could do, but I mean, we need to, we gotta be able to afford it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. But, once we get something done, we have to maintain it. The fourth floor carpeting, if it doesn't look just like it did the day they put it in, 10 years after they put it in, we failed.
right,
Because that should look absolutely the same way in 10 years.
right.
But that's the mentality we have to have. We have to protect our investments because we don't.
Right.
So we get something done and we leave it go.
Yeah,
That's
we're-
why all these preventative maintenance things, at the buildings are great because you got people maintaining stuff so we don't have these huge expenses down the road. So as far as the vacuums go, I mean, Paul, what do we do with that? If we wanted to get, yeah, come on and sit up here. I'm just not, Jet, help me understand and help me soften the blow. I don't want my
Yeah.
maintenance department paying for equipment that should be out of capital.
Yeah, so the capital value technically should be 20,000 and above. So for equipment like vacuum or, what you're talking about for the $4,600 is under your budget equipment line. And, we can always make adjustments, but you should have something in that every year for specifically that type of item. I would budget it. I mean,
You'd budget it for next year?
yeah, yes, because you're going to need something beyond this, what you need now.
Yeah.
But if you've got some budget money there now, there's not a question, go do it. That's why I said buy it. There's probably money there.
There's money in the tool line item.
Yeah.
That's a tool.
It is
Yeah.
not,
It's
it's not.
it's
not in my
equipment.
mind. It is.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying with tools, but
When I budgeted,
yeah,
it was custodian line item.
okay.
And this would fall under that line item for me, unless
Okay.
it was, which
Yeah.
it just,
Yeah, I would spend it out of a number you have. And at the end of the year, you may be a little over, but you might be a little under somewhere else, which will offset. I mean, I hate to say it
And if
that
we're a little
way.
over, you'd have no problem. helping us out,
Oh,
I'm sure.
yeah, right. I would prefer,
I've had this
yeah,
happen 3 years in a
yeah,
row.
I would
and
prefer
that's
we
why I really
not,
don't want to
but
do that.
yeah, I mean, I would prefer we not, right?
Yeah,
Because we have an issue there, but obviously we have to manage to what we've
right.
appropriated for. So that's where you gotta take a real strong look at your total budget and say, what do I have, right? And go for it. I don't think $4,600 or whatever it was. I just heard four. And
it's,
Well, 4,600,
If
that's a typical, that's a penny pincher column right there, because 4,600 times two,
yeah, now
and then
you're
a 20,000,
now
and a
you're-
$20,000 scrubber.
Yeah,
Now I'm at
yeah.
20.
well, your scrubber can go through the capital item and, you've got money there.
Well, and it sounds like the scrubber is like, we need that like right now, the big one, right?
we need the vacuum right now.
Oh, the scrubber's good?
vacuum,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would get two
Well-
vacuums.
I mean, if you don't have it in your budget and you want to get one to start with, do it that way. And then
Next year.
we're going to be starting budgets here in the next really 2 to 3 months for next year. I would come in strong with what you need. It doesn't mean you're always going to get everything that you need, because there are some items that we, at the dollar, we don't look at the items you're buying. We're just looking at dollars, right? To say, hey, where can you make sure that we hit the number we need to be at? But obviously, as you talked about, you can't sit back and just hope that everything lasts for 20 years. It won't. So that's our planning process. And that's where I would say bring it into the budgets and take care of it. But definitely you know, for this right now, what you need, you got to go do it. It's just, it's a matter of need, not want, right?
100%.
Yeah. So that's there's
The
there's
biggest thing,
differences.
and the other thing is, and I agree with you, but the biggest thing for me is if you have the equipment that they need, there's no excuses of why it's not getting done. And we don't have an excuse of, well, we spend an extra 1.5 hours a week because we don't have another vacuum cleaner on the third floor. Then you look at 1.5 hours labor times 50 weeks out of the year, and you just look at it, you're like, my God, we could have paid for it 3 times over. So, you know, for
Yeah.
him to make sure that he's got the right amount of personnel, I just want to make sure that we get what we need to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. Again, that's, you know, I'm not here to tell you that you
No,
do
no.
or you don't. Just
Like, you'd be the guy
plan
to
for it.
tell, you'd be the guy to say so.
And that's what we're still trying to
Plan for
kind
it.
of work through is if we get the right equipment for these guys, these girls, whatever,
Yeah.
that, you know, can.
Can they be
can-
efficient in what they do?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Without
Yeah,
bringing
absolutely.
on an extra.
I mean, are
budget.
you bringing on, I know we put new carpet up there on the 4th floor. Did we add square footage of carpet or has it always been that way? Right? And have we always maintained it?
We've
There is-
vacuumed it, but we've never.
We never vacuumed it really.
Yeah, we
We
really
swept it.
Yeah, because the
It's just
vacuum
kinda-
doesn't work,
it
right?
was-
So,
Well, and
Yeah.
plus, yeah, so.
There's uprates, but.
Yeah.
But but once like I say, once the 4th floor gets done, if it doesn't look like that in 10 years, we failed. I
yeah.
mean, it should look just as good the day we put stuff in.
Yeah, so I would say, you know, and it's a bad analogy, but it's like, hey, the sheriff's department needs vehicles to go out and you know, patrol the roads. But you guys need your tools to make sure the buildings are right.
Right.
So I would say on the need side of it, go get it. And then let's make sure we have a plan going forward too.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, yep.
I'm just,
You okay with that?
yeah, I was just sitting there looking at this, the sweeper, and it says that, it's a battery operated cleaner, 60 minutes of continuous, cleaning. After 60 minutes, you got to charge it for.
We need
that.
we need more batteries.
Yeah, I didn't, one of the questions was, can you get extra batteries
Yeah,
to stick in
yeah,
it? Okay, then
They're
that,
just.
I was gonna say, then you almost need
it's a-
to, if
it's
you've got a,
Giant lithium battery.
Yeah,
or two.
okay.
You still need somebody here to replace that battery though,
Exactly
you
right.
know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
not
we-
like it's gonna
we
change
gotta-
itself in the
yeah.
middle of the night.
No, I
Well,
get
The
it.
the girls can change. This is more of like a battery tool. Yes.
okay, all right. I was thinking, you know, it was a big old.
No.
I get it. So, yeah, I mean, if, I say we get one. And then, we need to budget for, you know,
Next year.
for next year, I mean, the scrubber's the next thing.
I think we can, you know, I hate to say this, but I think we can probably get by with the scrubbers right now until December. But, you know.
You know,
once-
like another thing, Eric, is Jackie's area got done. And we've been vacuuming it, whatever. But that was done 2 years ago? Year and
And
a half?
it hasn't been deep cleaned since.
That's exactly right. But my point is, that's why there's all this money we're trying to spend. We gotta take the $75,000 and put 10,000 aside for scrubbing. And we'll only have 65, but I'm just saying, we gotta start thinking about that stuff, because we don't want them to wear that carpeting out in there, and they won't, because it's really good quality carpeting,
Right.
but it needs to be cleaned.
Do you think that this would be more of a third party program
Absolutely,
or?
absolutely. You can buy a rug doctor all you want. The extraction tools are just nice.
It's not a rug doctor. It's
I know. but-
light years ahead of that.
I know, but we don't have enough time to clean 77,000 square feet. And you want to extract at night when all the judges are gone.
Right.
I mean, that's a tough, until we get to that point, I think we use outside sources.
And even when this happens, that person, somebody needs to be with them.
No, I understand
So-
that. No, I
Just
get it.
throwing that out there.
Cost of doing business. I understand that. But I mean, we just have to be able to maintain what we put in. We cannot just throw stuff in and then, well, we'll just replace it in 15 years. And by God, we haven't. Because I mean, this carpeting's gotta be 25, 30 years old. So I'd say get it. What do you guys think? Go for it.
Yep, sweeper.
I think so, yeah, get her done.
And
Start with one.
in the tools section that we've got our budget, were we budgeting for the in the tool section, were we budgeting for the equipment in the shop?
Yes.
When
That
is
was
the-
just, that was a slow start.
Well, I understand, but
Yeah.
when is the shop gonna be up and ready to go?
I'm hoping by November,
Oh,
December.
okay, so you are, okay, I was just gonna say, cause if we're
Yeah.
not gonna hit that target, I
Right.
mean, you wanted to use that tool money until next year, you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you buy that other stuff that we need.
Okay.
But if you
That
feel
would
you're gonna
make
hit that
sense.
target, I would just keep it,
Right.
just for, you know. You good,
Yep.
Jeremy? Anything? Anything? Nope. You good? Well, new business, we already covered the new business, purchase of the floor cleaning equipment, the old courthouse alarms upgrades. Any executive session? I have nothing for executive session. And do I have a motion to adjourn? Dean and Mike. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?